What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the Firebird Rescue. This car was forgotten in a field for roughly 21 or so years. We rescued the thing and we got it running. But in today's episode, we're gonna try to take care of these brakes. We're gonna address a few things, and we might try to do some Rockford J-turns. Now, with the possibility of trying to drive this thing, we definitely need to go ahead and take care of these brakes. I also do want to mention one thing. I noticed quite a few comments about check valve that goes into the brake booster not being there and a vacuum leak. We stuck a bolt in this line. We just didn't have a check valve to put it in at the time. You know, we showed you the master cylinder here. It has some fluid, but just tons of rust and everything. The rears have drained out, and because those master cylinders are only about $40, let's just go ahead and replace the thing. Make sure we are safe so we can enjoy this car. Let's first get this nasty old fluid evacuated. Yuck. Oh yeah, it would have been silly not to replace that because it would have been bad. I am not going to reinstall the new one just yet, and that's because I want to go ahead and pull all of our hoses off. That's normally your one thing that gets clogged. The hoses will rust and shrink down. Let's get them removed, and then let's blow back. Let's either blow down or up and make sure our lines are clear before we put the new master back on. While we have the master off, we might as well go ahead and verify the booster is good. So I've got a Mighty Vac here. Let's pull some vacuum on it. And holding solid. Sweet. So we've got a good booster, which means we can hook our hose back up. And once we get the master in, we'll have some power brakes. Rolled around a bit, and this car hadn't been sitting as long as some of the cars we've messed with, you know, only a little over 20 years. But let me show you why we need to rebuild these brakes. I'm sure the wheel cylinders are bad, so we'll open those up here in just a minute. But if you look at our shoes, this definitely a lot of wear, needs to be replaced. But not only that, this is a non-rivet. So look right here, but look at this side, completely separated. The lining has completely separated. So ask me how I know how this goes. We've attempted stuff like this in the past before I was doing this full time. You know, on some of our project cars, you kind of would do a wheel cylinder, the shoes looked good, whatever. Even if they looked brand new and they were that old, within the first few miles of driving, this lining's already just about to come off. Even if it hadn't come off, the glue normally is not adhering by much. Sure enough, pops off, spins around, and tucks under this one and locks your back brake down, and you're stuck where you're at. Shoes are normally only about $30 for a set now, maybe $25 to $30 for a set of rears, or, you know, per pair. So you might as well just do them. So let's go ahead and do these rears. Let's get this wheel cylinder changed, and we'll go ahead and pull that hose so we can blast air back through the line. I'm under the car taking care of our line while Dad is working on the rear brake there. And so with that being said, I was able to get this loose. Our brake lines look really good, but those lines look really bad. So as long as we take care of this, everything else should be no problem. You like belt brakes, don't you? You can see that wheel cylinder full of fluid, pretty crusty. That for the $12, $15 those cost, it's just another one of those things. We do stuff on a budget, but there's certain things, especially when it comes to safety, you probably should address. Being on the rougher side of the car, the one that was stuck down in the ground, this one is not as interested in coming off. There she goes. Woohoo! Woohoo! With that rear hose back on, everything looks much better than what it did, and we were able to verify that that line was clear.
Oh yeah.
I do keep getting whiffs of some raunchy gas, and I want to drop this tank to see what it looks like, see if we can even save the thing, or if not, get a replacement. But I also want to know, is there a build sheet on top? Because under here, it's all factory exhaust, the factory muffler, and that tank sure doesn't look like it's ever been out of here. So I'm excited to find out. Well, if our tank is anything like the hoses that are attached to it, this might not be too good. No build sheet, but hey, it was worth a try. We might get lucky and find one up under the center console or something, or under the front seats. But let's go ahead and take the sending unit out, see what it looks like inside. Oh boy. Well. Well, it is just solid rust. Oh boy. Now the thing to do could possibly be try to put rocks in it and tumble it around, but new tanks for these are only $175, and I just don't think it's worth doing. This is definitely where it gets unusual for us. That's a disc brake. The nice thing with disc brakes, especially only 21 years of sitting, is if they're sealed up, and the seal looks really good, they are normally just fine. Now this hose, on the other hand, is shot. Ooh, that's scary. And of course, that bleeder just about clogged. It is clogged. And so we can get this thing cleaned up. Out we go. No point in saving this hose. Woo! You can see where it shrunk down real bad and was super dry rotted. Wheel bearing feels good and tight, but we will open it up, make sure the grease looks good, and repack it if it needs to be. The heck kind of bugs are in there? The biggest thing here on our caliper is look how nice the piston still appears to be. So as long as we can compress it down, which we'll try to do here in a second, and everything seems free, we should be safe. Oh, just like a brand new car. No problem. Dad did spend a little time cleaning this up, and it could be turned, but it's really not that bad. There's nothing gnarly or anything, and the little bit of rust that is still on here should clean off pretty quickly with our few first stops. And the passenger side is done. Now this side was a little bit of a treat. The caliper was actually in really good shape, maybe even better shape than that side, especially once we got it cleaned up. Rotor looks good, wheel bearing feels really good. It did have, the bleeder was in really bad shape, and when we were taking the hose off, it broke the line. Now, the line was in really good shape, but right here at the joint, this was just frozen solid. So what we had to do is actually pull the line out of the car, cut it, flare in a new end, get it all together, and now we can go ahead, put the master cylinder back on, bleed it, and see if we can get some brakes working. Kind of different. You can see it's actually aluminum. If I butchered that, I apologize. Oh. And again. Alright. That's some nice clear fluid. Hit it. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
How's that pedal feel?
Very nice. Very good compared to an old car with a single pot and everything.
While our wheels are off, we might as well go ahead and get them cleaned up because it might be time to put some new tires on. To see if we can't save some of this original finish. So before we go cleaning and painting and all that stuff, I'm going to try a few different things. One of them is this rust stain remover. I don't know what you do. Don't get near this. Wear heavy gloves. Wear gloves. Blah blah blah. You can put this on clothing. Okay. So I'm going to soak this all down. They're actually really solid, other than the beads do have some ugliness. We cleaned them up the best we could. You can see the tires do have air in them, and we put new valve stems. That's why they're holding now, but where they were flat for so long down in the ground, we had some ugly on the beads. But they seem to be holding, and I think they'll do good with some new tires. It didn't really do much. It may have helped a little bit but I don't think it really did much. I think we're gonna try vinegar. Whew. This you don't have to worry about other than it stinks. I think it'll look really good for now until we maybe decide to paint them or put some honeycombs on the car. Definitely not perfect. You know, we still have some of that surface rust on there, but a lot better. And I think with beauty rings and fresh tires on it, I think they'll look pretty good. I hate to go too crazy because the tires are already going to stand out. The wheels looking brand new might really stand out, and we want to kind of take our pace with this car, get it on the road, and then start working it in. You want it? Before we go back on with the wheels, I want to go ahead and take the time and get the wheel wells clean in here. So just using wheel and tire cleaner because it seems to work really good on about everything. Okay, and I do want to give a big thank you to Jason at Whitaker Tire here in Liberty. You know, they work with us. They're really fast, extremely helpful, and he's got really good prices on tires. We are not sponsored by him or anything, but we love working with local businesses. And these Cooper Cobras, I think, will look pretty good on this car. Not nearly as cool as those Winston Winters, but man, those Cooper Cobras do look good on this car, and it looks like it's ready to roll. But before we can drive it, I do want to go ahead and replace the thermostat as well as this upper radiator hose. And the reason being, when we were running it before, it was acting like the thermostat was stuck closed. You know, we're getting a good bit of heat in the motor, but it wasn't flowing through the radiator. So we want to go ahead and do that because we don't want to hurt anything on our first drive. That's the wrong side socket.
Gotta pause it again?
Ooh, good coolant in there though. You see the good coolant there, but we had no flow because there was nothing coolant wise this direction. So we definitely needed to get that stuck in there. I know you're probably thinking, why is he doing all this to the little 2-barrel intake? We just want a safe drive, and this is just temporary because as long as you all want to see it, we'll do some modifications to this little we'll do some I can't talk. We'll do some modifications to this little 350 in preparation for Hot Rod Power Tour this year. Don't forget to get a little sealant on your bolts because these are drilled straight through into the water jacket. I want to go ahead and get a fuel line run down here and a fresh fuel filter. And the reason being, I'm going to go ahead and put the gas tank in the trunk for now. But with that being said, we got to figure out how to get in that trunk because it does not come open. Got 18 miles of extension. We're going to take the bolts out right there. Sweet. So all we did was take these two bolts off right here, remove our hinge, and what a weird trunk. That trunk is that's good. That's a good one. That taken care of, and a little lubrication, we can now open the trunk, no problem. As you can see, it's kind of coming apart. What's weird is how solid the body is. But this deck lid is a little shot. We installed this temporary screw just to hold it in one piece, and we'll be hunting for a match. And with that open, you can see that gorgeous original Laredo brown up under there.
All right, it's clear.
Really neat where we're going to run the gas line through this factory body plug. You run a screw down in it. As you run it down in, it pulls these clips back. And out she goes. Fuel line in place. I got some gloves on because that steering wheel is nasty. Definitely gonna take a bit to get all that fuel pumped up to the front. Does it look like it's in the filter yet?
Oh yeah?
First best part, getting these things to run. Next best part, trying to drive them. Come on, let's go for a ride. Okay, I just want to pull down the road and we need to check fluids, coolant temp and everything. Feels good though. It's tight. It kind of reminds me of like a Fox body Mustang. I guess it kind of reminds me of the 4th gen. Kind of rattly, stiff. First, second. Wow, it's a smooth shift. Is this a 3-speed? third. This is 4-speed.
No,
Probably 3-speed.
probably 350.
Yeah. Oh, it feels good. Oh, it smells horrendous. Holy golly! We are burning some flipping mouse nest. Oh God, you smell that? Woo! Oh, brakes fit this. I'm gonna daily this thing. I kind of feel like a bad butt driving this thing. This thing's awesome. We got to get this interior restored. We're gonna drive this thing. All right, let's check on everything. There must be a rat. Oh, there's a rat's nest in that heat shield, I bet. Sheesh. Thermostat's opened. Up and freely. Fuel coming through looks good.
Hose are at the top.
No, the top goes into this.
No, the top of the bottom hose.
Okay.
I can't tell where.
Well, let's turn around and get it back and get that tight. What's weird, you can see it. Some might be on fire in there, but this kind of reminds me of the last Firebird. It had the same burning smell, but it was in the exhaust. Remember how much it shot out? This is on top of the exhaust somewhere. This thing is, we got a fire extinguisher? Whoa, cut it off. Yeah, it's coming from the weight pole and the water pump. Well, looks like we're gonna have to do that water pump. All those years of sitting probably had primarily water in it. We know we had some coolant and wasn't good on the water pump. So we need to go and do that. We'll go ahead and do that lower radiator hose while we're in there too. Yeah, pretty crusty old water pump bearings, pretty unhappy. You can see where it was leaking out of the wheat pole right there. Hopefully that water pump does okay. It is painted in a Ford semi-gloss black. We look good. Feeling pretty good. It's a really nice driving car for what we're used to. You know, we've been driving the Thunderbird around here lately, and that thing is just a boat. Like, this thing actually feels like a proper muscle car. Get on it a little bit. It's not a hot rod by any means. I like it. This thing feels great. What a fun driving car. I feel so good with these gloves on. Super, super, super happy to have the opportunity to get to rescue this car. It would have been so sad to see that 350 yanked out of it, because it sure is fun pushing the tires in this thing. With that being said, you know we gotta try some Rockford J-turns. I've definitely never ever done or attempted anything like this, and I don't want to tear the car up. So we're going to take it step by step and be really easy with it. To begin with, just low speed reverse. I might pop it in neutral and see if we can get the nose to spin around before we even attempt to throw it in drive or anything. But biggest thing, we're just going to take it easy. We don't want to tear the car up. Yes, it feels really good. It sounds really good. The brakes work really well. It's running awesome, but I don't want to tear it up, especially that transmission. It cut off. This is awesome. How was that?
Pretty good.
It's weird. It's such a weird field, especially in gravel. All right, let's see if we can smooth that out a little bit.
That's why you do it on asphalt.
What an absolute ton of fun J-turning this thing, bringing it back, getting it fired up, getting the car driving. I think those Cooper Cobras still really set this car off, having those white letters. I think it's just the style, you know. I think as we dial this car in, get the interior done, get everything fixed up the way that it should, maybe take care of some of the performance modifications that we want to do to this car. We need to find a big open parking lot to actually maybe try to sling this thing around a little bit more, because it's fun in the gravel, but it's really just digging in. I think I could get the hang of it. Definitely really nerve-wracked trying to do that in this car. But I hope you all have enjoyed the rescue of this Firebird so far. And if you have, be sure to subscribe button and notification bell, because that's all we do here. We rescue forgotten old cars, and we have so much fun doing it, and we really enjoy taking all of you along with us. And if you have been a part of the channel, we really do incredibly appreciate all the love and support so much. Dad and I are so glad to be able to do this full time. It's a dream job, I've got to say. I don't know if you think the same thing. Yeah, is it your dream job?
We'll see.
But that is going to wrap it up. I hope you have enjoyed. Peace out, and catch you all on the flip side.